They might say something like, hey, I see that you did a t-test there. Why did you choose that test? Or I see you did a chi-square, or I see you did an ANOVA. Why did you choose that test? And I think for any of these stats tests, it comes down to just kind of a very simple algorithm that's based on what kind of variables you had for a given test. And so, well, if I chose ANOVA, I would say, well, I chose ANOVA because I was comparing the average sugar content across three different groups, right? So you've indicated, an ANOVA is a fit when you've got more than three groups. I've got average sugar content there, or total sugar was a numeric variable, so that's why I chose an ANOVA there, because I had three groups and I was comparing a number, right? With t-test, I'm comparing this mean running cadence in this example. Again, the data is not so important here, right? So I've got a number, I'm comparing it across two groups. For chi-square in that example, why did you use a chi-square? Well, I was just analyzing a single variable. It was categorical, and I wanted to know if, the distribution of those categories was different from a null hypothesis. But I used a chi-square because I had all categorical data and I was testing against a null expectation of, and you can fill in the blank, right? And then for linear regression, quite simply, I used a linear regression because I was testing for a relationship between Raptor offense and Raptor total. Both were numeric variables, right? So anything that speaks to, I was testing for a relationship between two numeric variables. So no matter what the answer is to that question of why did you choose that stats test, it's related to the kinds of variables you have, um, and what your sort of central question is. Are the groups different from one another? Is the distribution different than a null? Is there a relationship? And when you're working with DataClassroom, that information is going to pop up for students as they're doing the analysis, and that's a good time for them to do some note taking, or start committing that to memory. But if you're using some other tool that's not explaining those things, those are still things your student is going to want to look up, and they're going to want to be ready to answer that question of why did you choose that stats test.